Good afternoon. My name is Tina Gote, and I am submitting my portfolio defense for FELS Standard 1 Education Leadership. Professional and ethical norms. Effective educational leaders act ethically and according to professional norms to promote the academic success and well-being of all students. Therefore, administrators should lead with integrity, focus on student achievement, and supporting staff development in ethical, data-informed practices, and having those courageous conversations to promote growth. This occurs through accountability, setting clear goals, communication, and follow-up. Ethical leadership and student success. Setting clear goals. Schools use the school improvement plan, student data, and instructional priorities to define measurable goals. These goals are aligned to the district expectations, state standards, school-wide performance targets. Teachers use these goals and implement them, or rather, develop SMART goals in leadership team meetings that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Communicating these expectations come from the administrators, usually in the beginning of the school year, with your first staff meetings, but they're communicated throughout the year through regular staff meetings, with written guidance through emails, memos, or calendars, individual coaching sessions, which is extremely important, to set clear expectations. These clear instructional strategies, assessment practices, and professional responsibilities. The principal presents the school's top 3 improvement goals during pre-service week and follows up with a grade level breakdown during the planning. Ongoing follow-up. To align teacher goals to the learning outcomes. This includes identifying the barriers to academic success or low-performing subgroups with targeted goals and specific planning that supports equitable opportunities. How is this done? An administrator can conduct, for follow-up, classroom walkthroughs and observations. They have check-in meetings with individuals or with collaboration teams. Conduct progress monitoring using formative assessments and walkthroughs, all of which should be documented with feedback, which is the key point in the process, providing the feedback to give teachers the opportunity to improve. After a classroom walkthrough, the assistant principal will send the feedback through email and schedule a reflective conversation for the following week. Ethical leadership means leading with that integrity and fairness and transparency. Therefore, the expectations have to be clear, so the goals are set in the beginning of the year. They have to model professional behavior that is aligned with Florida Educator Code of Ethics, following, being consistent, and working with fair and consistency throughout each interaction you have with all the teachers, and supporting the continuous growth through meaningful feedback and professional development, and making decisions that prioritize student learning and their well-being. Using the school improvement plan, it can be used to define and drive academic priorities. It aligns the teacher's goals to student learning outcomes, identifying the successful and underperforming student subgroups, and it sets the targeted data-driven goals for those subgroups, and teachers use this information and implementing strategies within the learning environment. It's important to keep in mind that to build trust through coaching and support, as well as understand that it could be informal or formal, and everything should be documented with clear expectations. The outcome is to improve. However, if staff members fail to meet expectations after fair support and documentation, leaders must initiate further disciplinary actions that is aligned with the district HR policy and the ethical guidelines. In addition, I wanted to share my field experience, which aligns to the field FEL Standards 1. I can use the school improvement plan to identify achievement gaps and academic barriers. I collaborated with the SIP team to analyze the 2024-2025 DODEA standards testing data for ELA and math. We compared this to the previous 3 years and identified patterns of growth or decline. We presented 3 opportunities and highlighted 3 areas of achievement and presented this to the principal. I conducted learning walkthroughs where I observed instructional practices in the classroom environment for 3 classes, elementary, middle, and high school. We focused on identifying professional development needs to support teachers in enhancing instructional effectiveness. I observed strategies for diverse learners, identified priority areas that impact student performance outcomes across the different grade levels, and conducted mock feedback conversations with my mentor to simulate a coaching session. The outcome again is improvement and not to punish. And keeping this in mind, we all can grow our school and meet goals together. This is some images of some of the work that I did while at the school and my references. Thank you and have a good day.